Mark Livingstone is with me, Cornerstone Financial. He's in the house here in the Capitol. Great to see him. Mark, by the way, you look fabulous.
Thank you. Right back at you.
Now, you're recently married, right?
Correct.
How's married life treating you?
Wonderful. We're still in the honeymoon phase.
Ah, I love the honeymoon phase.
Absolutely.
So am I. 30 years later.
There you go.
Still in the honeymoon phase.
In fact, our wives have the same name, I believe.
Ann.
Yes,
right.
Exactly.
Well, mine's with an E.
So is mine.
Ah, it's the E.
Yes, it's the E.
Yes,
and after 49 years of being a bachelor, I found the woman of my dreams. She's a wedding planner. I adopted her wonderful son, Jack, and it's off to the races. It's the best thing I've ever done.
And I've met your fiance and now your wife, and a very lovely lady. I met her at the inauguration, and also met your stepson now that you've adopted, Jack, who's a baseball player.
Like yours.
Same like mine. Too. Same name, right, Jack? And,
exactly.
And that's my oldest son is Jack, and Ann. And, of course, the E at the end of Ann. Of course, the E, you know what that's it. E stands for sexy, right? That's what it is. I'm telling you.
Elegant.
Right? Elegant. And, well, that too.
Everything.
Of course, everything. You got it right there. It's the E that matters. Okay, first of all, I really appreciate when you come by, but I got to get my Mark Livingstone Cornerstone Financial fix because you've been away for the summer. I don't know what's going on in the market. I don't want to read the fake news, so I got to get some info. Tell us what's happening.
Well, John, since we have last seen each other, the market has completely shifted, whereas we were in mostly a refinance market because interest rates were at all-time lows. We're now much further into a purchase market. You know, the coal of the economy really is housing and jobs. And now that we're seeing the jobs down around 6% is the unemployment rate, which is pretty healthy, and we're seeing the housing take off. Yesterday's report came in that housing is the best that it's been in 10 months. So really what's happening now is that interest rates, the Fed has decided to take more of a dovish attitude. They had predicted they would do 4 interest rate increases this year. They just announced yesterday that the September meeting, they are going to hold off raising interest rates. So now we're looking at potentially 3. They've raised it 3 times in the last 7 months, 2 times this year. And so now they're saying in September they will not be raising interest rates. They want to keep inflation in check. So interest rates we had thought would be up around 4.95% by this time this year, John. But instead, we're actually back down to the lowest that they've been all month. Just 2 weeks ago, they were the lowest they've been since the inauguration. And so we're hovering right about 4% right now with 0 points on a 30-year fixed. Historically speaking, still an incredible time. We're doing mostly purchase loans right now because most of the people who could refinance already have. We're about half a point higher than where we were exactly a year ago. So at Cornerstone First Financial, we are a high volume discount loan mortgage company. And so we're seeing a shift that we're mostly doing purchases. The refinance has slowed down, although your listening area, did you know, is the 3rd most concentrated area of veterans in the entire country.
Really?
So we're getting a lot of your callers calling in specifically asking about our VA options. So we have the VA IRRRLs, or the interest rate reduction refinance loan. We also offer up to 100% cash out for those veterans. So most of the clients that we get from you, and every time I'm on the air, I get about 4 or 5 calls after I get to the office. I would say the majority of those are veterans that hear me and say, hey, Mark, our banks down here, our credit unions down here don't offer what you offer, whether it's the rate or the program. So those veterans out there listening, definitely take advantage because right now, areas like Chesapeake, Virginia, Richmond, Virginia, Hampton Roads, Virginia, did you know that they've seen a double-digit increase in appreciation just in the last 10 years? So those people that tried to take out cash or eliminate PMI, now is the opportunity to act and get rid of that PMI or take cash out to 100% if you have your DD-214 or in layman's terms, your certificate of eligibility as a veteran.
Wow, that is an amazing thing. Now, let me just ask you a little bit about what is going on here as far as when you're talking about rate stabilization. You know Janet Yellen is going to continue to raise rates. The next meeting, that's coming. That's going to go up. So the time to act is now, right?
That is absolutely correct because we know that the rise in rates is imminent. We know it's not going to be in the September meeting, but then they're going to get back together in December. They're looking as if that's going to be it. They're going to make sure inflation is staying in check. You know, with the Trump organization coming in, we thought that interest rates would be much higher. They're not. So now is the time to get on board and take advantage of these still historically low rates, whether you're buying or whether you're refinancing. If you're refinancing, you want to eliminate the PMI, Cornerstone First Financial, we are a lender in the state of Virginia, but we're also a broker. So if we can't do it, we have the outlets that can. And as I've told you before, a lot of our business comes from bank fallout. So if you go to the bank down the street, most people with a 640 or less credit score don't have any options. We allow people with as low as a 580 credit score.
No way.
Absolutely. So 580 credit score, you're still in the game. And if it's lower than that and you have things that have happened in your past that have led to your credit being challenged, call us and we'll help you get your credit back to a level so that you do qualify for the absolute lowest rate.
Right, because that's just the bottom line, is getting the lowest rate. And I've had several listeners of mine, Mark, and this is what they've told me, and that, they've gone to their bank. This is what we always say. You have a lender, go there, get all the paperwork done, get your rate, get it done, don't sign it. Right?
Right.
Take it home and call Mark Livingstone at 866-625-1221, 866-625-1221, or go to cornerstonefirst.com and just get a comparable rate. I've had so many people tell me, oh, dude, I did that, and I simply got a better deal. Everything is the same, but I pay a lower rate, and I pay less on my mortgage per month, and everything else is the same. How do you do that?
Well, as a matter of fact, John, I'm about to say that if we can't meet or beat any competitor out there, I'll pay your mortgage payment for a year. That's how confident I am that our rates are lower. And we just have the resources to go out there. We're not one of these banks doing huge commercials in a big building here on Main Street. We are just a high volume discount loan mortgage company. We have all the products and more than what the banks offer. And we're not, our overhead is very low. We're not trying to make a killing on each deal. We're just a small mortgage company that's looking to help and benefit the borrowers. And I've been in the industry for 25 years. I saw that there was a need for an integrity-based mortgage lender, and that's what we've developed my company on, is integrity lending. So if I can't meet or beat anybody's loan estimate, then I'll pay your mortgage for a year. Obviously, some restrictions apply. I had a guy last week that called me, and I couldn't touch it because he had a mortgage. He had a banking relationship where they said, we'll give you this rate if you deposit $500,000 in our account. So I couldn't beat that. So there are one-offs.
Right.
So some restrictions do apply, but that's how confident I am with our rates. And again, your listeners, last time I was on, I said, hey, John, just today, if anyone calls and says they heard me, I will pay for their appraisal. I'll do that again today.
Boom. There you go. Call Mark right now. Get your appraisal paid for. Get the best rate out there. And don't be discouraged if you are trying to get something and you've been turned down by your traditional lender. Mark and go, what you said, 580. And this is nothing to be embarrassed about. I mean, a lot of us went through the recession, and, there's all kinds of dings and dongs on your credit. Now things are getting a little bit better. You want the chance to get into a house, or you want to get things done. You want to call Mark Livingstone today. Plus, he'll do your appraisal for free. How cool is that? Well, you probably want the number 866-625-1221, 866-625-1221, 866-625-1221, or go to cornerstonefirst.com, cornerstonefirst.com. Now, there is a sense of urgency here, Mark, right?
That's absolutely correct. The rates going up is imminent. Sense of urgency today that I'll pay for your appraisal today. If you call me tomorrow and say you heard me on the John Fredericks Show, we may have to talk about that. But yes, there's a sense of urgency because interest rates are going to go up. We just closed one of your listeners down at Hampton Roads with a reverse mortgage, Mr. Stanton, who said that he's related directly to the Secretary of War under Abraham Lincoln.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yes. Okay. So direct descendant. We just closed his reverse mortgage. We were able to pay off his loan and give him $20,000 cash out. Reverse mortgages, they have now been endorsed by the National Association on Aging, and these reverse mortgages are an excellent opportunity to live the life that you're used to and tap into your home's equity without ever having to pay it back while you're living in the house.
And no risk of losing your home.
No risk in losing your home.
See, that's the misnomer out there.
Correct.
That's the fake news out there.
That is absolutely correct.
Right,
it's HUD insured. It's not going to be detrimental in any way. You're going to be able to stay in your beautiful home as long as you like. If you want to take out long-term care insurance with the proceeds, you can do that. There's just so many options. And what I'm encouraging your listeners to do is just call and see what options they have at whatever point they are in their life. homes have appreciated, if they're thinking about getting rid of the PMI, or if they have somebody who's growing older in their home and they want to talk about a reverse mortgage, just call and make sure you have the facts straight. No fake news here. Cornerstone First Financial, 866-625-1221. They can email me directly, mark@cornerstonefirst.com.
Boy, now I have your email, Mark.
There you go. And so I'll expect to hear from you later, John,
Yes.
about that lunch appointment.
Yes.
And so whatever you need, just get your facts in line so that you know what you're dealing with.
Well, and the other thing is, look, rates are going up. That's why you got to act. If you're thinking about getting into something, getting a mortgage now, you have to do it. And here's why Janet Yellen, Mark, is going to raise rates, all right? And I'll just lay it out there very simply. Rates are artificially low, right? They've got to go up. It's a matter of time. Now, she didn't do it under Obama, and a lot of people think, oh, she's doing it now to hurt Trump or whatever. No, she's doing it now because she has the Fed chair. She has confidence in the Trump economic plan that the economy is going to grow.
Absolutely.
And so that gives her the ability to raise rates. She was reluctant to raise rates when the economy was growing at an anemic 0.5%, right? So we had a very fragile situation. Now, the Fed chair, Janet Yellen, has confidence in Trump's economic plan, so she's going to gradually get rates up. They've got to get back up to equilibrium. So she has confidence in his economic plan. That's why you're going to see these tick up. Now, what that means is they're not going down. They're only going to go up. Every quarter, they're going up. The time to act is now.
Absolutely. You know, the Dow is reaching numbers that historical numbers. Housing has taken off. The unemployment rate is down. So interest rates are going to go up without a doubt. And now is the time. The only problem that I see on the table right now is inventories are low. So therefore, we have so many people out that are pre-approved for a mortgage with letters in hand going out there, and there's just not enough houses. So therefore, that's the problem, and we need to get more homes so that people can be buying them. Now, obviously, there are pockets, probably pockets within your listening area that aren't seeing it as much as others. I read off the appreciation levels of some of your listening area, Chesapeake, Richmond, Hampton Roads, and we're all seeing appreciation. Right now, with that appreciation, people can sell their homes for more, and we need to get more houses on the market because there's so many people out there looking to either downsize and buy a different house, or, you know, starters. Millennials are getting off the fence. They're going to be the fastest rising group of people buying homes is the millennials. And as the old saying goes, as the tide rises, all ships go up. Is that what it is?
A rising tide lifts all boats.
There you go. Exactly. So when the millennials who have been sitting on the sidelines start getting into the game, which we are seeing.
They haven't been in the game, though. They've been renting.
Correct.
But now you're saying that's going to shift.
Absolutely. Over the next 5 to 10 years, you're going to see the millennials going out from the basements in mom and dad's house, buying these houses. And I think lack of inventory is going to be the biggest problem.
So you got to act now,
exactly.
Right? And that also means, obviously, because demand is outpacing new home development, right? So prices are going to go up. Interest rate, everything is going to go up because we've got more buyers than sellers, and the housing industry and building new houses are lagging behind until that catches up, because a lot of people that build houses concerned that millennials have not been buying, they're renting. But now we're getting stats saying as they get a little bit older and they get a little more confident in the economy, a lot of them taking 2 jobs, and they're kind of seeing that home ownership, obviously, the way to go for a lot of reasons. I mean, if you make your taxes out and you have no mortgage deduction, you're not married, you have no children, you can't deduct anything, it gets a little tough.
Exactly. And we want to be that resource for those millennials, those seniors, whatever it is, those veterans that want to know what their options are. And so that's why you need to call Cornerstone First Financial. Give me a call, talk to one of my loan officers, and that number is 866-625-1221. And today, if you say, hey, we heard Mark on the air with John Fredericks, it's a free appraisal. So what's not to like, and guaranteed that we'll meet or beat any of our competitors, or I'll pay your mortgage for a year. There you go.
That's an unbelievable offer. If Mark doesn't come through, he'll pay your mortgage for a year if he can't beat your competitor. So look, go to your traditional bank, do all that stuff, go put on a tie and a jacket, and as the commercial says, grovel at the bank. And when you're done with that, call Mark Livingstone and see what he can do. 866-625-1221, 866-625-1221. Or if you want your fingers to do the walking and you got that iPad and that's your world, cornerstonefirst.com.
Yep, cornerstonefirst.com.
That's all you have to do. But the time to act is now. And Mark Livingstone coming here to our studio in D.C., bearing cheer and gifts.
Yes.
Free appraisal if you call today. And if he doesn't beat your mortgage rate, he'll pay your mortgage for a year. Certain crazy stipulations apply. All that good stuff. And all you have to do is pick the phone up, right? You got a phone, dial the number, hit the button, hit send, you're good. 866-625-1221. 866-625-1221. And by the way, so our listeners know, Mark Livingstone, a founding sponsor of the John Fredericks Show. Mark, you've been with me. I think you're my second advertiser. You've been with me forever. Back in the day when we were in that Washington studio in, where are we, Fairfax or something, when I first started, and you'd come to the studio, and I appreciate that. Also, Mark, an early supporter of President Trump.
Absolutely.
Back before anybody else was. Back with me, he was right there with me.
And that's not hard. That's
Came to the inauguration.
Easy to admit in this city, I got to tell you.
It's tough, isn't it?
It really is. I go jogging down in the mall and I'll wear my Trump shirt, and the looks I get, you wouldn't believe.
If looks could kill.
Yes, exactly. So I remember coming on your show. I just remember that you were no nonsense. You spoke the truth. You are extremely intelligent on all the facts on what's going on in Washington. And I said, this is a guy that I want to align myself with. Cornerstone First Financial, like I said, is built on integrity, honesty, doing what's right for the consumer. And John, I think we make a great team.
Well, I'm sorry you're getting those dirty looks with your Trump shirt on, but
Hey,
as I say with myself, if dirty looks could grow hair, I'd be a hippie.
Okay. As well as I. Look at me.
You got the shave look going on.
Yes.
See, I've got my 5 hairs strategically combed.
There you go.
Not easy to do, but I don't have to be concerned about a windstorm.
There you go.
All right, Mark Livingstone. Hey, what's that number again? 866-625-1221. 866-625-1221. Go to cornerstonefirst.com. I want to thank Mark Livingstone for being with us.